Hello wonderful viewers, it's another edition of the Tea with Salima show on Echo TV International. I'm your host Salima Kaba, and our guest in the studio today is no other person than Fatmata Bantan Mahanera, known as the Soninkara Queen, and my very own Matugune for that matter. She's the one who inspired me to become a TV presenter, and she's a young woman who have two personalities. So before we start our show, I will let her introduce herself, then we go to the discussion. Hello, Matugune.
I'm fine, thank you, Salima.
Now I will allow you to greet the viewers and tell them a little bit about you.
Salima, thank you. First of all, I will greet the entire Echo TV members and the crew here, starting from your CEO down to the employees, and to my family as well, my friends in the Gambia and abroad. And this is Fatmata Kijera, known as Fatmata Mahanera, Soninkara Queen. I'm the only person that has these two surnames. Fortunately, Kijera and Mahanera, they are all the same. We are Kijera, some are in Mandikas and others are in Sarahule. So that's why in the other part of Sarahule we call them Mahanera, but the surname is all the same. We are from the descendants of the Arabs. That's why we are called Kijera Mahanera, Kijera Sulakasi, Sula Arabo, KKG Binalo. That is Samara Kijera. I'm a mother as well, a TV presenter, TV personnel, a media personnel, and I work with Unit Remit, money transferred. I'm a Sarahule. So this is Fatmata. I grew up here, I was born here, and I did my schooling here as well.
Viewers, you heard what my sweet mom just said here. Now today, our today's topic is going to be social matters, and the topic we are going to talk about today is early marriage. So stay tuned, don't miss this wonderful topic. So Matugune, I would want you to elaborate a little bit what early marriage is.
Salima, early marriage or child marriage, it might all be the same. It's a union where two party or one party is under the age of 18 years, and likely it is forced into the marriage. Some women or some girl, we don't call them even women, we call them babies because they are under the age of 18. And when they are getting married, when they are forced into these marriages, their concern is not sick. Maybe probably they will draw them from school, out of school, and put them into marriages. And these marriages occur in all regions of the world. And it is practiced across cultures and ethnicities and religion. So if we have to talk about early marriage, it has so many impacts and so many implications. So in our part of the Gambia, child marriage is practicing. Recently, in Jammeh's government, the ex-president's government, it was declared under the age of 18, but still in other rural areas, they are practicing child marriage, which is very wrong. We need to have awareness on this. It has health implications. It has economic and social impact on the life of the girl child. So early marriage will still elaborate on the effect and little bit of advantage, but just little. But the causes and the effect, it's very risky.
Yeah. Now I want us to talk about the causes of early marriage, the main causes.
Yeah, the main causes will be number one, poverty. When we talk about poverty, poverty is a driving force to this early marriage or child marriage, because when you see some families in the world and across the world, here in the Gambia, we'll just take an example in the Gambia. You will see an elderly man, probably a rich man, will see an innocent girl child going to school. I mean, because some parents also think that the girl child is an economic burden to the family. Yeah. Some cultures thinks it's an economic burden. That's why they have to give her off to marry. Sometimes it's like a barter trade. You give the girl child to marry, and the in-law, that old man, will be a beneficiary to the family. Probably will build them a house, you know, sponsor your younger ones to school. And all those things are good. But what of the life of that child? She has a dream. She has an aspiration. She has an ambition. She needs to become somebody tomorrow. But because the economic and the financial burden, they have to drive that child into marriage. She will put her into so much depression. Maybe probably she will not even achieve those dreams she had in school. When you go to these schools, when you ask these children, some of this girl child, and you ask them, what do you want to become? They will tell you, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a scientist. But in the long run, 5 to 2 years' time, what will happen to them? You will see them selling granules on the streets. You will see them, you know, suffering. You know, marriage is good, but when the child is above 18 years, probably she will know what she wants. Let her achieve those dreams. And second causes is our cultural norms and values. Yeah. Because we believe that a woman's place is in the kitchen. So she don't need to be whatever she wants to be. That is exploitation. No. So when she is 14 years old, you will see the father will come to the mother, or the mother will come to the father and say, hey, Matora, I want, you know, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So before she will bring shame to the family. Yeah. And because that is their traditional, that's their belief that the girl child's place is in the kitchen. So before she gets puberty, they will drive her into marriage. So because of that is the social, our norms and our values. Mm. And another thing, protecting the family's honor. Because they believe that when this girl is grown up, you know, she will disgrace the family. She will get pregnant out of wedlock, and that will be a disgrace to the family. Sometimes it may happen to other women, other girls, before the age of 16, 17, they will, you know, unfortunately, they will get pregnant. But that wouldn't stop them from achieving their dreams. Yeah. So those things are the causes of child marriage.
Yeah, and the moment these girls got pregnant, some of them are even raped.
Yes.
And they will be afraid to express what they are going through to their parents.
To their parents.
They will just keep quiet. And the moment that happened, people will start calling them names, pointing their families.
Mm-hmm. So exactly, that's the cause. And we have to try and talk to these girls. You know, we help them. Let the society put hand in hand. Let's help these young women. Child marriage, I am totally against child marriage.
It's totally wrong.
Yeah.
Now, what are the advantages? Because everything that you see in this world have an advantage and a disadvantage. But we will talk about the advantages first before we go to the disadvantages of child marriage. So can you elaborate a little bit on the advantages of child marriage?
Yeah, for me, you may have other advantage, but I can only list one advantage, which is the advantage of you growing up with your mother at the age of when she is 14 years. Mm-hmm. She gave birth to you. You'll be able to grow up with her, take care of her. Sometimes you walk on the street and they will call her your sister. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the advantage. Then in this part of our country, you will see a child. Mm-hmm. will call her mother, sister. You wear the same clothes and things like that. And when she grow up, she'll be able to take care of you. like a woman, like a girl child. She will cook for you. She will be your friend. Yeah, she will have this mental, this psychological relationship with you. Yeah. So these are some of the advantages, and menopause as well. When you get to the age of 30 and you want to have a child, I mean, yeah, early marriage is not good, but late marriage also it's a bad thing. So these are the advantages. We cannot say you have to wait until you are 30 or 40. That is when you start bearing children. When will that child grow up and look after you? Maybe in your 20s, it's a good time to bear children. But when you wait until achieve those dreams, those ambitions, and at the age of 40 you want to have children, come on. Before the child grow up, you become old, and you get to menopause, probably you will not even have children again. So those are the advantage of early marriage or child marriage. Yeah, and for example, when you're at the age of 15 and you have a child at that age, you retire early, because the moment the child becomes matured, the full responsibility of the house, and still look after the other young siblings. Exactly. These are the advantage of early marriage as well. Yeah, and now we are going to talk about the disadvantages of early marriage, which is very huge. If we are going to talk about it, we will spend the whole day today, but you are going to only elaborate a little bit the important ones, and we share it with the people. Yes, the first important one is the disadvantage. Yeah, the disadvantage. The child is ripped off her childhood. We all know a girl childhood is very important. When you have an experienced childhood, you'll be able to nurture your children. You're able to tell them, this is what I went through in a positive way. This is what I went through. Go through this path, go through that path. But when you are at the age of 14 and you push into marriage, come on, you wouldn't want that to happen to your children. These girls are ripped of their childhood. They are literally forced into marriage, and due to that, it causes depression. They are depressed. Sometimes the risk is violation and domestic violence. It leads to domestic violence, where the man will be beating the woman, and gender inequality. The man feels that he is the boss, and when this girl is growing up mentally, by the time she is 20, she will definitely know this is not what I want, and she will stand up to the husband. And that will literally cause divorce, because there are certain things that she allowed 14 years ago. She may not allow it now because she has grown. Maybe she will allow you to beat her when she refuses to do certain things. But when she is at the age of 30, no, she's a grown woman now. So and the health risks also. It's very alarming. It has health risks, which, I mean, when the girl is pregnant at the age of 14, she may have so much. The complication it's going to be huge when she is giving birth to bearing children into this world. The health risk is very bad as well. So these are the disadvantage of child marriage. And these young children also suffer a lot in the hands of their husbands or sister-in-laws or mother-in-laws. That is the domestic violence. Yeah, because the moment you got married into a family and maturity comes first. So you are not matured, you cannot protect yourself. You will become slave of that particular family. You will be working, all you do is work. There will be no love, no affection. They will just consider you as a slave. Especially when you are a young girl and you get married to an extended
expanded family. And the expectation is very high. All right, viewers, we'll go for a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, you are watching your favorite show, Tea with Salima, on Eco TV International, and I'm your host, Salima Kaba, with Fatmata Banta Mahanera, known as Fatmata Kijera, and the Soninkara Queen, my very own mom. And as you can see, we are bringing down the studio to 0 degrees. So stay tuned, don't miss this wonderful topic. Matugune, we are going to talk about the effects of early marriage. Yeah, the effects and the impacts that it has on the young girl's life.
Yes, the effects, like I said before, is as well as the disadvantage, because it leads to divorce, like divorce. The
divorce rate is high.
The divorce rate is very high, and domestic violence as well.
Yeah.
And this, the effect also, the girl child is not given an opportunity to further her education. Like I said, she has dreams. She wants to become something, and that because of early marriage, she is driven from those dreams into a marriage. And as a young girl at the age of 14, what does she know about taking care of a home?
Nothing.
I mean, what does she know about childbirth, giving life to life? She doesn't know anything. Her place is in school.
Yeah.
Her place is in her mother's arm. Her place is in her father's house until the age of 18.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it is practiced across regions. It is practiced across cultures and religion, ethnic groups, because they believe that a woman's place is in the kitchen. So those effects are very high. It has health risks, domestic violence, exploitation, and sometimes it leads to so many diseases, like we all know. You can see a woman, the husband is from abroad, and she will come. You won't even go for some tests before you give your girl child to him for marriage. And what will become of this girl's life? It's very sad. The society needs to change. For us, we have a foundation called Hope for Women and Children Foundation.
Yeah.
We are on the process of working on it.
And inspiring young girls and mothers.
And inspiring young girls and mothers.
Because when you talk about, we'll come to that, when you look at the divorce rate, we are not able to further your education, and you don't have anything to do. The moment you divorce, the man will abandon you, and he will not take care of your child. And even if he take care of the child, he will not take care of the child the way you want he to take care of the child. Some of them will run away from their responsibilities.
Exactly.
And too much stress. And the moment you get married, you divorce, people judge you wrongly. Some will quote you without even knowing you, and they will not even know what you go through in those days. The moment, even if another person wants to come and marry you, the way they quote you will make that person to step back, not knowing that you have sacrificed your life.
Your childhood.
You have been through a lot. Because if you look at these young girls, even if they don't divorce, they become wicked. The way they are treated in their husband's house make them to be very, whenever they see people, like, they will become angry. They will blame everyone for what is happening to them, because they will think they are the reason of what is going through. So what do you think that we could do as mothers and other mothers? Because if you take care of these young girls and they are the future leaders of tomorrow, we should teach them at least. We are so vulnerable. Even in the Islam, Allah sees us as the most vulnerable people on earth because we were the first people to accept Islam. And we are so vulnerable. We should be strong and take up space. And mothers also should be very protective to our young girls. So I think there are certain measures that we should take as mothers, and we talk about them. Maybe even if they don't pick 100%, at least they will pick 10%, and that 10%, as time goes on, it will be shared.
Yeah. Yes, like I said, what you said about these girls, we have a foundation called Hope for Women and Children Foundation, which I am the CEO and the founder. It inspired me, like you said, these young girls, they are maltreated in their husbands' houses. So when you make a woman happy, eventually the child will have a better world. So when these women are put into marriage and 2 years they are divorced, they are desperate.
Yeah. The
society look at them as bad women. They don't know what they have went through those marriages. We cannot say all women are evil. We cannot say all men are evil as well. But let us not judge these women wrongly, because they are the mothers of the society. They need to be loved. They need to be pampered. They need to be cared for. But these women are not. And they are desperate. They have depression. So, like I said, when you're suckling a baby with a milk of depression, what would that society look like? You see the society nowadays. You see the society nowadays. We don't know what society we are living in. Because of what? Most marriages, they are the cause of this society. My advice to these men are, look after these women. Take care of your women. For you to have a happy home, you need to put a smile on your woman's face. Look at the divorce rate. It's very high. 1-2 step, a woman will tell you, I am divorced with 1 child, with 2 children. And these children are not taken care of by their fathers. They are abandoned. Because what? They have divorced with the father. So they are not taking care of these children. And these children are left with their mother. Some of them mop the street. Some of them clean, they do all kind of jobs just to put food on these children's table. Some of them do even the worst. I don't want to mention.
Just to make a living.
Just to make a living. Where are these men? When you married these women, you found them in their homes. They weren't having children. They didn't have children. You brought these children to her. So why are you not taking care of them? So this is why our foundation, Hope for Women and Children Foundation, is here. We are seeking donors from everywhere, and we have messages from every part of the country. What do they ask for? School. Their children need school fees. And sometimes these fathers are in high positions.
Some of them even live in abroad. And if you see them, what Wolof used to say, Samba Alar. You will be giving out money outside while your child is going hungry.
Your child is going hungry. And when you ask them, what do they tell you?
I don't have money.
I don't have. Nakoya am take care.
Wow. Wow.
So it's very sad. So this foundation's aim and objective is to change this woman's life by giving them skills. Like today when I came here at Echo TV, I was so impressed. I see women as camera women. We need to give these women opportunity, give them skill, so that they can look after their families. They can look after their homes. So the foundation aim and objective is to change the life of these single mothers and give them skills so that they could train their children. Because to break poverty begins with a child.
Yeah, begins with a child.
Yes. So we are seeking donors from every part of the world. We are on Facebook. If you want to know more about the foundation, you can go to our Facebook page, Hope for Women and Children Foundation. Yeah. You can contact us. We will certainly get back to you.
Yeah. Matugune, we are coming to the end of the show, so you can say your last word to the viewers and to the men out there who are folding their hands and allowing their ex-wives to suffer, or even if they don't even divorce, they are not willing to invest in their children before giving it out. Charity begins at home. Yeah. What Wolof used to say, yes. Yeah, say your last word to the viewers and the men. When they are ready, they will come and bombard us. We are ready for anybody.
Anyway, Salima, I want to thank the whole Echo TV crew and yourself, because sometime when we met before you start Echo TV, you told me, Matugune, I used to listen to your programs. I said, I am the last TV presenter. You know, I am not doing that much well, but you know, Alhamdulillah, I am trying to work on what I love most, which is presenting. So you told me, you know, I want to be like you, and today I have seen you, you know, we've chat, you know, achieve one of your dreams. So it's a most important, it's a good thing. And my regards to my family, my beautiful girls, Mariam, Aisha, and my adopted daughter, Hawa. All my love goes to them. Yes, my Mariam, she said she wants to be a gynecologist, which is so beautiful. And Aisha, my family, my friends, all those people who supported me from thick and thin. I want to send my gratitude to everyone, my family, my friends, and my loved ones. And the first important message I want to send across is, let's stop child marriage. Me, I am totally against it. Let's help these children achieve their dreams. Because we have come to a world where if a woman is not responsible financially to be a dependent wife, you're going to be away from you. yeah, obviously you face so much of which we have discussed here: domestic violence, exploitation. I mean, all those things will come to you in a goal. So I want to ask, and I want to tell each and everyone, you know, my advice to these men: take care of your wives, take care of your family. A man's honor is his family. A man's honor is his family, and his respect goes to him. When you are Samba Allah, I mean, when people ask your family, the first thing the Prophet ﷺ said, I am the best to my family. And you should be the best to your wife and your family. Yeah,
especially men. They copy the sunnah of the Prophet, but they only copy the sunnah of marrying four. But they do not copy the sunnah of what he was doing, taking care of his family, his wives, chatting with them, his children.
No, they only respect the sunnah called for marry four wives. But the sunnah of treat your woman with love and respect. Not everyone, because when you're quoting, you don't generalize. Yeah. You pick the bad ones. So my advice goes to the bad ones. That is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. He's the best creature in the entire dunya. So Salima, thank you for inviting me to Echo TV, and I'm so happy coming here today. Assalamu alaikum.
Viewers, we have come to the end of the show. And we wish to chat and talk about a lot of things, but you see, time didn't allow us. So Matugune, thank you so much for coming, and she's my inspiration, my motivation, my everything, my backbone. She's the one who made me who I am today, who supported me through thick and thin, even if not about this work. And thank you so much for coming to my life. And viewers, thank you so much for watching. And I'm also thanking my family, especially my baby girl, Mariam. She's also my everything. And thanks to my camera ladies, Aida Kamara, Aida Mike, and Aisha Ba Sahanoro, and our able CEO, my very own uncle Usman Diaby Tunkara, with his entire families, our followers, our viewers, our loved ones, our friends, and our entire family. Shout out to all of you and have a good day. Bye.